Very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Cabinet approves to amend the VAT and NBT taxes with effect from September. Government should not depend on private sector for preserving the resources of the country, says Minister of Tourism Development. News in detail. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the tax amendments of Nation Building Tax and Value-Added Tax as proposed by the Finance Minister Mangal Samaraweera in his Budget 2019. Ministry of Finance in the statement to the media said that all these amendments will be presented in Parliament in September for approval.
The hotels, guest houses, restaurants which are registered with the Tourist Board where they receive payment for such service in foreign currency through local commercial banks, such money will be exempted from nation building tax. At the same time, importation of yachts and other vessels for pleasure or sport purposes will also be exempted from nation building tax. The exemption of NBT presently available for subcontractors in the construction industry sector will be made available to the main contractors too. In addition, this tax concession will be given to the importers of unprecious gems on the recommendation of the National Gem and Jewellery Authority. The palm oil manufactured locally out of imported crude palm oil will also come under this exemption of NBT. Considering the request of the taxpayers, the VAT payment date will be changed to 20th day of the month following the month relevant to such payment. The existing VAT on the supply of condominium housing units has been amended. Accordingly, VAT will not be charged from such housing projects which sell housing units below 25 million rupees. In addition, the locally produced rice bran oil manufactured out of locally produced red rice will also be exempted from VAT. At the same time, as proposed by the Budget 2019, the existing VAT of 75 rupees per item of garments sold locally by BOI approved apparel companies has been increased to 100 rupees per item.
The National Sustainable Tourism Certification Award Ceremony 2019 kicked off yesterday at Apegama premises in Batharamulla, encouraging the sectors involved in the tourism industry to work towards a sustainable ecosystem.
Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority initiated the National Sustainable Tourism Certification with the technical and financial assistance of Biodiversity Finance Initiative of United Nations Development Programme in mid-2018. This year's award ceremony was themed under Let's Make Our Destination Sustainable, and it was designed considering the current importance given to sustainable tourism globally and to successfully compete as a highly demanded destination. Around 37 participants were awarded in 3 categories: bronze, silver and gold. Moreover, Jetwing Lighthouse Galle backed the award in recognition to minimizing negative impacts on nature, and the Heritage Hotel Kandalama won the prestigious Platinum Award of the award ceremony. Meanwhile, representing the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, its Director General Upali Ratnayaka signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Chief Executive Officer of Global Sustainable Tourism Council, Randy Durban, during the award ceremony.
Minister of Tourism Development, Wildlife and Christian Religious Affairs John Amaratunga highlights that the government should not merely depend on private sector or outside agencies for directions on preserving the resources of the country and ensuring its sustainability. Minister Amaratunga made this claim at the National Sustainable Tourism Certification Award Ceremony 2019 held yesterday in Batharamulla.
The other thing is how to preserve the resources that we have. It's very important. It's the responsibility of the government not to depend on the private sector or other outside agencies to come and give us directions, to implement the necessary laws and the regulations to make sure that sustainability is there in our country. Our laws are very strong. The protection of the beaches, as you know, is one of the strongest regulations that we have. Preservation. We have the preservation of fauna and flora, which is also a very important area in tourism. And there is the height regulation that is also now in operation. Similarly, there are very many regulations that have been implemented in order to protect our resources. The laws with regard to environment are very, very strong and they are very strictly implemented.
Transport and Civil Aviation Minister Arjuna Ranatunga assures that a transport sector in the country will be developed immensely with the ongoing projects such as Colombo City Railway Unit funded by the Asian Development Bank, Kandy City Railway Project and many other developmental projects island-wide. He made these statements today addressing the media at the Government Information Department.
We have started the Colombo City Railway Unit and we are getting Asian Development Bank loan, and we have already started the Kandy City Railway Project. And what we are looking at, we have 2 lanes in Kalani Valley train. We are looking at taking this train track on elevated route rather than going on the ground. We have faced a lot of issues with that, but going on the elevated route, it will create a lot of comfort for the roads. There are about 1,000 vehicles passing 56 main roads across this train unit. So up to Makumbra we are going on the elevated road, and from Makumbra we are looking at going on the ground level.
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. 234,078 dengue cases and 47 dengue deaths were reported by August this year as per the Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health. In this context, the public is advised to take steps to destroy mosquito breeding sites regularly.
The sources claim that 47 dengue deaths is alarming considering the number was reported in 6 months. The third and fourth types of dengue cases were reported mostly in this season, and it was the first and second types of dengue that were reported in the past. The Epidemiology Unit has identified 5 high-risk districts including Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara, Ratnapura and Galle, while Colombo recorded the highest dengue cases district-wise, accounting to 7,260. Meanwhile, doctors advise pregnant mothers to get admitted to a hospital on the first day they get fever, and that treatment should be sought for fever without delay. The public is also advised to destroy mosquito breeding sites using at least 30 minutes per week in this regard.
Leader of the Pivitru Helaurume and UPFA parliamentarian Uthegam Mampila yesterday criticized the government's latest program of free visa facility for tourists from over 40 countries. The parliamentarian was saying that what the government must do is assuring the safety in the country and lifting the safety of emergency, paving the way for the arrival of tourists.
ලංකාවට තිබ්බ ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි ඉන්දියානුවෝ හොර රාසේ ලංකාවට එනවා සමෘද්ධිමත් ජීවිතයක් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගෙන. ලංකාවේ ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාවට බෝට්ටුවෙන් යනවා වගේ, ඉතාලියට බෝට්ටුවෙන් යනවා වගේ ඉන්දියානුවෝ බෝට්ටුවේ නැගලා පණ ගන්න රට ලංකාවයි. ඔවුන්ගේ පාරාදීසිය ලංකාවයි. ඉතින් හොරෙන් බෝට්ටුවෙන් පැමිණෙන සංචාරකයට ගාස්තුත් නැතුව එන්න පුළුවන් කිව්වම අර නීති විරෝධී සංක්‍රමණිකයන් වැඩි වෙනවා. අපි ආණ්ඩුවෙන් දිගින් දිගටම අහන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. වසරකට ලක්ෂ 1.5ක් වැනි පිරිසක් පිට රටවලින් ලංකාවේ ඇවිත් පදිංචි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ අය කවුද? මොන රටෙන් ආපු අයද? ඒ අය නිසා අපේ රටේ ජන සංයුතියට ඇති වෙන බලපෑම මොකක්ද? දෙමළ ජනගහනය වැඩි වෙන්න එක බලපාලා තියෙනවද? මුස්ලිම් ජනගහනය වැඩි වෙන්න එක බලපාලා තියෙනවද කියන කාරණා ගැන අපි ආණ්ඩුවෙන් දිගින් දිගටම ඇහුවත් ආණ්ඩුව තොරතුරු හෙළි කරන්නේ නැහැ.
Founder and a board member of WSO2, an open-source model middleware company, Dr. Sanjeeva Veerawarana highlights that we cannot do without the autonomous weapons systems if we are to go with the new trends of technology. Dr. Sanjeeva Veerawarana shared these thoughts on autonomous weapons at the panel discussion titled Implications of Autonomous Weapons Systems, Killer Robots, which was organized by the Sri Lanka campaign to stop killer robots on last Friday.
A weapon system is not a weapon system. Anything autonomous has to make decisions, right? That air conditioner is an autonomous device. You set the temperature at whatever temperature and it makes a decision to go up and down, bring the compressor on and off to keep the temperature at that level. Completely harmless and so forth. If it was in a sealed room where it was maintaining air quality, it's not harmless anymore. If the thing decides to reprogram itself to change the air balance, it's a weapon. So we need these devices. You can't do without them. But at the same time, the way technology is going, we are basically going to have everything be controlled by software.
Let's take a look at few more stories for the day in brief.
Issuing a statement yesterday, Minister of Finance asserts that there is no change in 15% interest given to senior citizen savings via fixed deposits. The Finance Ministry states that although the central bank has reduced the rates for deposits maintained in commercial banks, the special interest rate of 15% offered by the government for senior citizens have not been changed. It further says that there is no truth in certain media reports published saying that the 15% special bank interest rate, which has been granted by the government for senior citizens, has been reduced. Ambassador designate of Sri Lanka to the European Union, Grace Azirwadam, met with head of South and Southeast Asia Division of the Directorate General of Trade of the European Commission, Peter Buzz, on 31 July 2019, following her recent assumption of duties in Brussels. Upon her visit, Ambassador Azirwadam discussed Sri Lanka's desire to further expand bilateral trade with the EU and to increase the utilization level of the GSP Plus facility granted to Sri Lankan exporters. Both parties discussed the agenda for the forthcoming meeting of the EU-Sri Lanka Working Group on Trade and Economic Relations Cooperation, as well as the visit of the GSP Plus monitoring mission to Sri Lanka. The new auditorium at Southern Campus of Sir John Kotalawala Defence University was declared open by the Commander of the Navy Vice Admiral P.L. De Silva on 4th August 2019. This new auditorium, which was constructed utilizing the technology, skills and creativity of Naval Civil Engineering branch, provides seating facility with all new equipment, a big audience at a time. The Vice Chancellor of KDU, Air Vice Marshal Sagara Kotakadeniya, the Dean of the Southern Campus, Brigadier Adipa Tilakaratna, Triforces personnel and a large number of students were present on this occasion.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 42.73 points to close at 5,846.94, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 36.54 points to close at 2,859.98. The turnover was 546 million rupees and over 34 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.